Market Review, where we bring you developments in the financial and capital market as it relates to the economy. Today, Thursday, December 17, 2020, we take a look again, as we do, at the commodities market, what's happening there. And today, we'll be looking at deepening Nigeria's commodities ecosystem, the role of the Lagos Commodities and Future Exchange. We've heard about this LCFE for several years, but now it's getting ready to come on board and fully operate and bring that value that is desired in the commodities exchange, which is a promising value chain that will really deepen the capital market ecosystem. With me to discuss around this is Mr. Akinsola Akeredolu-Ale. He is the Managing Director and Chief Executive of the Lagos Commodities and Futures Exchange. Good morning and nice to have you on the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Akinsola Akeredolu-Ale.
Yes, Akeredolu-Ale. Yes, thank you very much. First, one of the big boosts for this LCFE, of course, we know that the Association of Stockbroking Houses of Nigeria, ASHON, is fully involved in this, and the president is also the chairman of the board. It promised to deliver this year, and of course, we've seen some traction now and getting ready to operate. But one big boost you had was the visit of the House of Representative Committee on Capital Markets and the Security and Exchange Commission. When they visited, they lauded what is happening in the LCFE and showed that they were impressed with what they saw. But for you, what were the key takeaways from their visit, and how does that boost again the expectations as LCFE begins to take shape?
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to really thank the Securities and Exchange Commission. And I also want to thank them because of the putting together the 10-year master plan. The 10-year capital market master plan, we talk about the implementation of that master plan. One of the fallouts of the implementation of that master plan is setting up of the commodities exchanges. And we're very, very glad that we're licensed to participate in that ecosystem in 2018, provisional licensing in 2018, and June 2019, we were given a full approval to be fully operational. And also, SEC has gone further. In 2020, they've approved rules and regulations that guides being on the exchange. They've approved some of our products. Now, having said that, if you look at the visit of the House of Reps, it's almost very timely to about the time that the exchange is taking off fully. And part of the take-home of that, which we're very happy about, is that for you to participate in that particular space, the commodities ecosystem and the economy especially, you require the law, you require the legislation. And if the legislators are there to give you that support and give you the nod for you to go ahead, it means that we're doing the right thing. And Nigeria is a commodities country. And a better part of our revenue comes from commodities. So I'm not surprised that SEC also is giving us that support. And they've been there, they've seen the structure that we have put down, and they've seen the infrastructure that we have put down, they've seen the superstructure we're putting down to activate and catalyze that commodities ecosystem. One of the takeaways from there, from a visit, is the fact that they've seen that we have to explore opportunities for the growth of this country in the commodities market. Because if you look at the sheer potential and the size of the mineral resources in Nigeria and in the oil and gas sector alone, it is unsurmountable. Nigeria has distribution of solid minerals in almost every quarter, every geopolitical zone in Nigeria in large quantities. And for some of the people that give speeches at that meeting there, one of them said that what we just need to do is either we mine it, or we plant it, we grow it. Is either we grow it or we mine it. We have enough resources in the ground in Nigeria to take and to make sure that Nigeria is a very, very good and then very, very profitable and rich country. Also, another part of what came out that is the issue of us to harness the resources and create and generate financially tradable instruments for both sports and the futures market based on these commodities as underlined. This particular part of it cannot be overemphasized at all, because there has to be a link, a nexus between capital and capital formation and the commodities ecosystem. So the exchange, LCFE, has evaluated the commodities ecosystem and has identified that there's a cog in the wheel of commodities ecosystem, and that is a fact. And so what we have done is that we're working with the stakeholders and independent people to work with us on the exchange ecosystem, because what we're trying to do is to make sure that the stakeholders in the commodities ecosystem stop working in silos. We're trying to bring everybody together so that we work together as a team, and instead of working in silos, because no ecosystem can thrive with that kind of mentality. Our role at the exchange is to build the bridge and integrate the stakeholders of the commodities ecosystem with those working in the capital market. That nexus has to be linked, whereby the capital market, that is capital formation, wealth creation, is linked to the commodities ecosystem. And what this simply does is, if you create that link, you bring liquidity into the commodities ecosystem, which is what the commodities ecosystem desperately needs, and which is what some foreign investors are focusing on in Nigeria. They focus on it, they bring liquidity from outside. What we're trying to do is, from the local side to from the national side, let's try galvanizing and start bringing them liquidity towards the commodities ecosystem. And there's a strong need to be part of the country's oil resources. We spoke to them about that too, for Nigerians to be able to participate internally in trading of our crude oil in Nigeria. A better part of our crude oils and discounted notes and all that are traded outside Nigeria. We made it very clear to them that even if it's 10% of whatever is being traded in the crude oil space is traded locally in Nigeria, you can imagine the volume of float that will be made available in the local ecosystem, and it will increase our capacity to retain part of these funds within our own ecosystem as a float for us to work. Because on an annual basis, if, for example, we're doing, let's say, for example, we're doing maybe like $10 billion, which is not the right figure. It means effectively that $1 billion will be staying locally in Nigeria, that Nigerians will be able to participate to trade it. And the figure is in far, far excess of that based on our revenue on monthly basis and on annual basis. And this will assist us also in protecting the volatility that Nigeria has been experiencing. That has to do more with what we call hedging, which we all know. You know, when we're able to hedge, it means that the volatility that happens in the global markets, when it comes in, I will be able to stabilize and hedge better. You know, and if we cannot hedge better, it means that we'll be at the mercy of the whims and caprice of the global market at any point in time. So locally, yes, it has to be encouraged, whereby crude oil trades can be done locally in Nigeria, nationally, and I know Nigerians will be interested in participating in that particular space. You know, so what we're doing is we're making a lot of strong strides in that space, and we're also trying to make sure that we make a lot of strong strides also in the solid mineral space. We are working towards listing of 2 solid mineral partners. Particularly, we're focusing on gold, which was part of the discussion that we had that day. And we're delighted by the show of support of the Commission and the House of Representatives during the visit. The Commission has always shown its support for the commodities exchange, and have worked with us to develop an enabling framework for effective commodities trading. The chairman of the Capital Market Committee of the House of Representatives also expressed the support of the House for the commodities exchange, as the Lagos Commodity and Futures Exchange, and our need to explore that sector better and to grow it to a larger scale. So we are optimistic that the commodities ecosystem is the key to doubling and improving our GDP, and to grow our GDP from a single-digit growth to a double-digit growth. And we are very, very optimistic about that. Nigeria is a blessed country. The major issue that we still have is to create a bridge between liquidity, financing, and the commodities ecosystem, so that the impoverished Nigerians that want to participate in that space can access capital and can grow exponentially. So those are the key takeaways from the visit. Thank you very much. I hope I've not been able to spend too much of your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akeredolu.
I mean, the fact that you want to serve as a bridge between liquidity, financing, and the commodities market is very interesting. What also caught my attention was the fact that we want to see how we can encourage Nigerians to participate more in the trading of mineral resources. And you just gave that scenario, which, of course, is also nice to note. If we can even trade 10% of crude oil, I mean, Nigerians are involved. It could spark a lot of interest and deepen the commodities market. So that's nice. Bridge liquidity, financing, and the commodities, and encouraging more Nigerians to trade in mineral resources, because, yes, there's a lot of opportunities there. Well, in terms of your infrastructure and timeline for operational setup, when you're going to kick off, when are we looking at? Because we hear you're on the verge of kicking off. When are we looking at? First quarter 2021, or what timeline?
Before I tell you when we're going to kick off, I'll first of all like to all at the same again thank the Securities and Exchange Commission. You see, we are a self-regulatory organization, SRO. I will report to the Commission. So this institution is a highly regulated institution that SEC is giving special attention. Yeah. And what that means is that every step that we want to take, every product that's going to be traded, every product that's going to be listed has to be approved first by the Commission. And we are very, very thankful to the Commission. We thank God that the Commission has approved about 8 of our products that are tradable. The Commission has approved the rules of the exchange that allows us to trade in the 4 asset classes that's talking about: the oil and gas asset class, the solid mineral asset class, the Agric asset class, and the currency asset class. Now, for the Agric asset class, which is about the easiest one, we have about 4 aggregators that are already trading the commodities, like sorghum, like maize, like paddy rice, that are going to be listed. And then we also have 2 that are coming to list for gold. And for them to be able to cross that Rubicon to be able to be listed, we've had to get approval for the product from SEC, and we have approval. So effectively, we are going to be doing our first set of listings in January, most likely second weekend in January. And our business model is, first of all, the companies, the aggregators are listed first. And after they're listed, then they come and list their contracts. One of them, which I'll speak about briefly, is Japol. Japol used to be listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and they changed their business line to gold trading. They are coming to list, and their intention is to raise $11.4 million by way of contracts to be able to participate in that space. And when they list that, people will be able to trade on Japol contract. So I can say that we're going to be first quarter 2021 with all the approved companies that are coming for aggregation, and the other ones are going to be approved them subsequently. We'll have started trading for people to participate in the ecosystem. These traders.
So one of the big things to watch out for in 2021
already is that the LCFE will begin operations first quarter 2021, and already we're expecting to see first set of listings in January. And you just talked about Japol, $11.4 million, and 8 products have already been approved. Operating in 4 asset classes, quite interesting. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic had its effect on global economy and the markets. It actually brought to the fore the need to strengthen technology and enhance digital operations. So, I mean, amidst the pandemic, we saw all the various exchanges carrying out the operations. The business continuity plan was effective, and market activities were up and doing. So, in that regard, how do you plan to strengthen your infrastructure, technology-wise, also strengthen the security, cyber security-wise, and ensure that as you kick off, operations go seamlessly?
We have a very proactive regulated Securities and Exchange Commission. Immediately, with the pandemic was going to start March earlier this year, the Commission had written to all exchanges to come up with a business continuity plan and how they intend to implement the business continuity plan. And that business continuity plan was put together and was forwarded to Commission for approval after due evaluation. And then, like you said, part of the business continuity plan had to do with technology, personal protection also, and settlement of trades. And the third part of it, I'll speak to the technology. For technology, since March, when the business continuity plan has been put together, part of the structure that we have deployed is for people to be able to trade remotely, apart from coming to the floor of the exchange, and then for them to be able to connect to the exchange, be able to trade, and also We have concluded agreement as a match on the direct connection to the CSD, which is the depository. Are supposed to do the trades and settlement, and then for the settlement banks also be able to be connected to the CSD via NIPS. All that have been done at March this year. On the issue of malware and technology, before we cranked our engine, that was June last year. First gave us the final approval. We had done the vulnerability tests for our systems of technology. Make sure that they're not vulnerable to anything and they're not vulnerable to malware, and to protect the technology itself. That had been done since last year, before we were given instructions by the committee on the issue of our business. So by way of technology, we have full protection. We have the firewalls that protect the engine, and we have created access for traders that want to trade remotely on the exchange. And for the ones that want to come and trade physically also, they allow them to come to trade physically. Also, on the issue of data recovery, we have deployed and invested heavily in data recovery, co-locations, to make sure that if there's any issue, we'll be able to make sure that data recovery is on the spot, and then co-location is properly done. All that are parts of the thing that have been embedded in our risk management and structure, which the commission approved before we could even operation.
Now, you mentioned collaboration.
Which of course, the Securities and Exchange Commission Director General, Dr. Lamido Yuguda, emphasized several weeks ago among the commodities ecosystem. Have you already initiated some meetings? We have the Nigerian Commodities Exchange in Abuja. We have the private FX exchange, and also now LCFE. Are there plans to have some kind of inaugural meeting, and of course strengthen that as we see in the Association of Security Exchanges, where you have the NSD, FMDQ, NSD, have the interaction?
Yes, you see, we live in competition. We're not here to compete, we're here to complement it. The commodity ecosystem is very, very large. Nigeria is one of the biggest markets in Africa, if not the biggest market in Africa. We have 200 million people in Nigeria. Our GDP normally is supposed to be above what we have. So it's a big market that's big enough for everybody to participate in. And the good thing is that we have exchanges that are occupying the equities market. We have exchanges that are occupying the fixed income market. And we have some exchanges also that have niched their market in their big space. And then we have the one that's owned by the federal government. Everybody has their own core strength. And we see all the various core strengths as an opportunity, not as a threat. But let me give you an example. For an NCX is federal government owned exchange. There's a lot of infrastructure, warehouses, silos, and all that. We can participate and that way with them. We have some people that have niche agriculture that we can speak to them and then together. And then we have fixed income that at the point in time we start issuing out instruments that are going to have been traded. There's going to be a point whereby the issue of liquidity and then repos, purchase agreement are going to come up. Nobody's an island. Nobody can participate in a vacuum. So we are very, very happy that the Commission is trying to align and put everybody together under what has been referred to as the interoperability, which is ongoing. And we have various other stakeholders that are there that we are partnering with, like the Electoral Security Clearance System, which is that settling the trade, and then bank settlement banks, and then even the connection between the settlement banks as the Nigerian bank settlement. All these are various partners that we're working with, and the Commission is encouraging this arrangement whereby we build up a very big ecosystem that's efficient, and then we can always leverage on each other's assistance, which is easier. But the better we align with what people refer to as shared services, whereby everybody does not have to be deploying the same thing and repeating everything inside us, the easier it will be for us to move in a very, very mean and lean way, whereby we'll have smooth and lighter overheads to be able to be very, very profitable.
Yeah, I like the part of shared services, and that will help to
move seamlessly in the ecosystem. Let's look at policy and of course talk about legislations. The legislators were there to see and assure of their support. Regulators were there, but overriding policies, for example, infrastructure and even the short storage, which has been a major concern for commodities. What would you like to see happen more in that space? Policies that can unlock the opportunities in the commodities markets, infrastructure, and of course issues around storage. What other things are important at this point?
What I would say is that we might not believe, but Nigeria is not actually short of infrastructure
When it comes to the agric space, and when you talk about silos, when you talk about warehouses in Nigeria, and when you talk about research and development institutions, when you talk about deployed capital into that space, if you look at the last 12 months, the federal government has made a special effort via Central Bank of Nigeria to deploy into rural schemes, into agriculture, into the agric space, into we have so many silos all over Nigeria. Some of them are vacant, some are empty. We have so many warehouses all over. If you go to Kano, to go to many places, you see vacant warehouses. I think the policy now more is to be able to protect that ecosystem. And one of the things that we spoke about is the warehouse bill. And we also spoke about the ratification of all export proceeds on the exchange. You see, by way of data, the volume of data that we have is not commensurate with the volume of production that we have in Nigeria. We need to make sure that data is captured properly. And the federal government will be able to capture greater revenue and to be able to grow that particular space. And then also we need protection of the primary producers, whereby there should be proper price discovery. And I would like to speak a little bit about the price discovery and protection of the primary producers. You see, where you don't have transparency and you cannot really determine the price, what happens is that some middlemen will determine the prices, make the profit, and the producers, the primary producers, at the end of the day, hold the short end of the stick. And what they don't know, middlemen, is that if they hold the short end of the stick, it's most likely that they're not going to come back next year to produce. But one, there's no motivation to produce. Two, they can't get value for what is produced. Two, and three, they will not have enough capital to produce for the next year. So most of the time, you see there's always a short burst. The producers come in, they lose money and they go. But another people take the value. So we need legislations that will protect the primary producers and make sure there's a price discovery, which is very, very important. That's part of what the exchange is about. Price discovery, so that people are not shortchanged in what's supposed to be the value of what they're supposed to get. Let me give you an example. Some aggregators, they can decide on a yearly basis and say that for whatever the price, they will discount the price of a particular commodity. And farmers will not be they will have a choice at the end of the day because of storage facilities that they don't have access to. Or they have losses. So they sell at any price. And what that means is that if they make losses, they will not come back every year. So we want legislation and the support of the legislation to cover that. Now, for crude oil trading, we spoke to that. There has to be a structure that we can do crude oil trading. The ones that we can work with now are the ones that are called the independent oil producers that we can work with now. There should be a way that out of the 1.8 billion barrels that we're getting per day, which has been traded, Nigerians will be very, very interested in trading our own crude oil here, investing in it, and creating capacity in it, and building capital in it. And we have seen in the last 3 years that there's a lot of strength in crowdfunding, that is raising capital and putting it together in it from Nigerians. And it means that if that is put in place, collective investment schemes and so many other schemes can put people together, be able to participate in trading Nigeria's crude. Also, we also spoke to them about the refined products. On a daily basis, we consume refined products in Nigeria, and then refined products are traded in some other countries too. We want a situation whereby, as the delta vessel is coming, the mother vessel is coming, to the daughter vessel for to get the time farms. Nigerians trade on daily basis on this refined product. We want a situation whereby part of it is traded and Nigerians can participate. Like Nigerians, most Nigerians don't even know how these refined products get to us. Whereby some people have traded it already, but it gets to the pump and we just buy. So these are opportunities that can build up our ecosystem, build up our economy, build up commerce for Nigerians to be able to participate and create wealth for Nigeria. We spoke to them about that. And we spoke to them particularly about export proceeds. That export proceeds, to protect export proceeds, there has to be ratification of any trade on an exchange, a commodities exchange. If you're going to move out 100,000 metric tons of cocoa, you should be able to cross it on an exchange so that data will be harvested. CBN will be able to access the information. National Bureau of Statistics will be able to have it and understand the information. And even when we're doing our budgeting, the federal government will be able to plan better based on the export proceeds and data that's harvested from the exchange. But when you have an informal way whereby people just put products together, go to the port and go up without data harvesting, there will be challenges to collecting data. Yeah. I will now also mention the issue of pension funds there. You see, the pension fund, whether we like it or not now, it's focused on treasury bills and whether we like it or not, our pension fund is moving towards what some people might refer to as the concentrated risk. Because if everything is focused in one direction, can refer to as concentrated risk, there has to be diversification. Whereby the pension funds are allowed we spoke to them about commodities, and we also spoke to them, the legislators and the president of SEC, about the autonomy of SEC. It's not our call, but we just said that if SEC is able to move faster, better, with autonomy, it will make it easier for the ecosystem to grow faster. And of course, by the end of the day, it will have a multiplier effect on our exchange, commodities exchange, for us to be able to move better. When we have an autonomous commission whereby things move faster. We lastly about the legislative support so that some of the assets that are going to be created for fungibility, that is for liquidity, are supported by legislation, and that some people can. Has been done in China and some other countries, you will discover that that particular ecosystem, particularly the Agric ecosystem, will grow better. Lastly, we also suggested that there's nothing wrong in another 2 to 3 years whereby some states that go for fact collect the allocations that federal government can issue oil notes, good oil notes that they can discount or they can hold to maturity that are tradable. These are part of the things that we discussed with the legislators in the presence of the commission. The commission took a laundry list and said that they welcome development, they will look at it. Some of them are short term, some of them are medium term. But either way, each and one of them has to be started. We have to start them at one point or the other. And the best thing to do is a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. That it would be nice for us to start this process immediately. Those are the things that we submitted to the legislators that day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akinsola.
Very clear hearing the autonomy of SEC, which is important. We see what's happening in the US, and that's what we expect in Nigeria. Ratification of export proceeds, it's very key on my mind. I really like that perspective, and even the key one, the fact of protecting primary producers and achieving price discovery at their level, not giving it to middlemen. Just in 30 seconds, can you tell us what we should expect from LCFE as we ramp up in 2021?
No, for 2021, very challenging. But we found out that almost with for 2021, we are looking at if we're not able to meet up with our mission of saying, which is our mission is to see how we can have a movement and growth of our GDP from single digit to double digit. At least let's have a minimal growth by way of our contribution. And what we're planning is to be able to release by the end of 2021, when we're coming out, we should have at least about 50 contracts for the solid mineral space and about 100 contracts for the Agric space. And that in those that will have created liquidity a lot for the outdoor schemes, for the farmers, for the producers, and for the
for the solid mineral sector, we have been able to start pushing resources towards that place to start harnessing and the solid mineral that we have in Nigeria. And also, by the end of the year, if the legislation goes very well, before the end of the year, that Nigeria should be able to trade part of the crude that has been traded from NNPC. But from the independent producers, we have them trading on their own crude, 10,000 barrels, 5,000 barrels per day by June 2024. Those are our outlook for, and we look forward to Nigerians participating in that space and making well for themselves. Exchange and value the energy part of exchange. Thank you.
Welcome on board. It's nice to have you join the ecosystem
exchange, and it's nice to see what you're going to do in terms of deepening that quest to diversify revenue in Agric and solid minerals. 2021 is quite a big year to look out for the Lagos Commodities and Futures Exchange. Thank you once again for being part of this edition, Mr. Akinsola Akeredolu-Ale. Thank you very much, MDC of Lagos Commodities and Futures Exchange, and hope to have you in subsequent editions as we discuss around the commodities market.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. That will be all for today's edition of the Market Review. You can join our website, prochange.com, to get more insights on the commodities markets. Go to the right hand of the back, scroll, you see commodities. When you click on it, you see all the developments happening in the commodity space. And now we have LCFE joining, so definitely we'll be looking at capturing activities there in the LCFE and seeing how it will deepen the ecosystem. You can also send your comments and views on what you think about the commodities ecosystem in Nigeria 2020 and what to expect 2021, and what the likes of LCFE can do better to strengthen the market. Send it to news@prochange.com or tag us at WebTVNG, and we'll be glad to take note of them and respond appropriately. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching. Have a nice day and stay safe.